ahead, put it on real tight. Hope you brought your best tonight. They say they got the fireworks, yeah, they say they got the show. You're around the shoots, you're the best, so let's go.
This is Texas Toast. I'm your host, Miss Helen. Kick back and enjoy as we toast the best from Texas.
Hello, everyone. Welcome again to Texas on Tap. I'm Miss Helen along with producer Kyle, and we got some good stuff for y'all.
We do, yeah. And let's not pretend like this is the first time we're seeing each other all week. We just got off of a awesome conversation with next week's guest, and we'll be probably diving into some details about that later on.
Yes. I wish I could just jar up her energy. It was so amazing.
It's crazy. Set us up for success with this episode, though.
Yes. Like I was kind of like dragging a little bit today, but then after that little visit, it's like I got some pep in my step. I'm ready to get outside.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yes. Okay.
You want to start it off this week?
Yeah. Let me go ahead and start off. Let's see. Go back to old friend of mine, old time music. Used to be a professional bull rider. Jarrod Birmingham has a new single out called "Going and Blowing," and of course, Jarrod is kind of my neighbor because he's Port Lavaca and I'm
really?
Matagorda. So yeah. So
okay,
he's got and it's the traditional Jarrod Birmingham sound, and everybody that knows Jarrod knows his music and his voice is so unique. So good job on this one. And by the way, I noticed that the writer on the song was Chris Ledoux. So I've got to figure out what that connection is.
What the heck?
Yeah, I could see it, but that's totally in Jarrod's wheelhouse. So Going and Blowing, new one from Jarrod Birmingham. Another one that I really, really liked, his name is Luke Christenson. He actually is a former, he actually received a Songwriter of the Year award from TCMA for his single Fort Worth and You. But he has a new single out, Sober or Drinking, and it is a two-stepping song. It's, again, has that 90s sound like so many of our Texas artists are putting out now. But I really like his voice. I really like his music. I really would like to get to know him better. Luke Christenson, Sober or Drinking. So check that one out. That's a newly released, just hot off the press, going into radio. And then going back, another traditional Texas red dirt artist, Jason Boland and the Stragglers. He has a new album that's coming out December 3rd. It's produced by Shooter Jennings. And sometimes we try to make our own decisions and life doesn't necessarily get in the way, but life comes to us in different kind of ways.
Right.
And I guess basically that's what I picked up on this song. It's The Light Saw Me is the name of the song. And it's pretty deep. It's pretty intense, but it makes you think. It really makes you think. So Jason Boland, the Stragglers back again, their new album coming out December 3rd. So make sure you check out Jason's new single.
Yeah, that one was an interesting leadoff single on the record for me. But yeah, like you said, the message is real heavy with that one. So great song, really pretty. The harmonies were nice throughout, but I was kind of surprised that that's the one they chose to, because like, I don't know, whenever you listen.
It's actually the title cut to the new album.
Right. So I don't know. To me, like I feel like those are the type of songs, at least personally, whenever I hear a record, those are the ones I want to find later on. It's like, oh man, I've got something new to cling on to now.
But it's Jason Boland. He can do it.
Yeah, he can do it every once.
Pretty much Jason Boland and Stragglers. In my opinion, I mean, I followed their music. I've actually worked the stage with him before. It's like they can do anything they want.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
definitely.
But it's good to see Jason back and having some new music out.
Absolutely. So I'll go ahead and run through mine, and I will start off with the new song by Graycie York called Whiskey, and that song actually just dropped today. Or actually, you know what? It might not even drop until tomorrow morning, but we're going to be listening to this song right here by Graycie York. It's called Whiskey. Check it out.
You know I pick up when you call, and baby, you call every time. That you're halfway through that bottle, just spill out the same old lines. Like baby, I need you, I gotta have you. Why don't you just tell yourself the truth? Don't let me bore you, just let whiskey. It's the only thing that makes you miss me. You want my love till that last drop. Someday I'll make you pick a side. All my love on yourself is pride. You don't love me, boy, you just love whiskey. It's the only thing that makes you miss me. You want my love to that last drop. Oh, will this ever stop? I don't know when I'll learn. Yeah, that love ain't supposed to burn. And I don't know when you'll see that you don't let me, boy, you just love whiskey. It's the only thing that makes you miss me. You don't love me. You'll never love me like you love whiskey. You don't love me. You don't love me like you love whiskey. Oh, you don't love me. You don't love me like you love whiskey.
Brand new music from Graycie York called Whiskey. I love her voice. I love the meaning of the song. Once again, I pick up on those lyrics where you so much pick up on the music, but the music's great. Her voice is great, but I love the lyrics and the songwriting in this song.
Yep, she's hit her mark with her songwriting, and I think she's really just found a corner with her voice where she can push it to its limits and get, the fullest out of it. And I hope she can kind of hang on to that style. It's
Right.
like she's found this unique stylistic corner of Texas, and if she can capitalize on that and keep doing it, then she's just gonna go places.
And speaking of her style, I love her style and love her turquoise.
Oh yes, no, she's killing it.
She's a queen of turquoise.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hey, that could be a song.
Yeah, let's new podcast series. We get artists on and write songs with them, and you guys all get to listen to it. That's
my
what we'll do.
goodness.
We'll get Gracie on and write a turquoise queen song with her.
I love it.
But yeah, good stuff from Gracie. Whiskey, go check that one out, and all of her other stuff. I know she's got all kinds of cool headlining gigs around Texas right now. So if she's in your area, go check her out. The next one that I'm going to talk about is by a guy named Logan Samford, and he's a new one to me. And the song is called "Feels Right." So this one was the biggest jumper on the chart, on the Spotify chart this week. And Logan's got a cool voice, and the production's very interesting. It's stylistically, they took some different approaches, and that's kind of why it stood out to me. His voice is way out in front of the mix, which it's like a kind of a ballsy move. And, it takes a certain voice for that to work. And I think they pulled it off. So good stuff from Logan. I checked out some of his older stuff, and, he's got kind of this similar thing going on. So I'm curious to see what he does with this new record or whatever he's got coming out.
I really like that song.
Definitely. And then the last one that I wanted to talk about is Wherever I Am by Colton Moore and the Clever Few, who is another new group to me. After doing a little research on them, they've been around for a long time, but
They have, and they were new to me as well.
Mm-hmm. But so this song is really cool. Like, it's got like a 90s rock vibe. It's very dynamic, ups and downs, loud, quiet, back and forth. All the instruments going on. But I really liked the kind of like 90s rock influence on the vocals. So, this Colton's another one that's going to stay on my radar for a good while.
Yes, me too. So looking at the charts, I want to mention, I had talked about our girl from Hallettsville, Jade Marie Patek, last week with her single Stranger. It debuted at 63. It was the highest debut on the Texas country music chart. So
Nice.
Congratulations to her. It's such a great song, but also the making some moves on the Texas country music chart with greatest spin increase is Bart Crow is in there, Cody Jinks is, Jade Marie, Aaron Watson as well. And then new and debuting on the chart this week, Braxton Keith had a big debut at 70 with Settle for a Beer. Kate Watson had a big debut at 79 with Red Lipstick and a Cowboy Hat. Also, Matthew Ryan's Drowning Alcohol had a good debut, and some other things bubbling under. But looking at the top of that chart, John Wolfe now has a number 1 on all 3 of the charts that we follow. He was number 2 last week on this chart, which the Texas Country Music Chart. Tequila Sundown, number 1 officially this week. Randall King was number 1 last week. He's at number 2 with Record High. Staying at number 3 is the Josh Abbott Band with Real Damn Good. And number 4, Drew Fish Band with One Beer at a Time. And rounding out the top 5 is Chad Cook Band with Senorita Sky. And that's on the Texas Country Music Chart. Looking at CD Extraction, Texas. Let me scroll on up because I was doing some research. I like to look down before I look up first. John Wolfe hangs on to number 1 with Tequila Sundown. Number 2 this week is Randy Rogers and Wade Bowen with Rhinestoned. Up from number 4 to number 3 this week is the Josh Abbott Band with Real Damn Good. I absolutely love that song. Every time I hear it, I like it more and more and more. And number 4, Randall King with Record High. And rounding out the top 5 on this chart is Cody Jinks. All It Cost Me Was Everything. Man, he moved fast, didn't he?
Yeah.
Seems like we had just premiered that song.
Yeah.
Like just a few weeks ago. I know it's probably been a little bit longer, but it moved fast.
I'm concerned that he's got a whole bag full of songs that are going to move up just as fast coming out over the next couple months. So he's going to lock all those charts up.
Yes, I'm a huge Cody Jinks fan. Yes. Number 1 this week on the Texas Regional Radio Report is Josh Abbott Band with Real Damn Good. Bree Bagwell moved up from number 4 to number 2 with her super duper song Heroes. John Wolfe is at number 3 with Tequila Sundown. Case Harden with Alcohol Abuse is at number 4. And rounding out the top 5 is Mr. Cody Jinks. All It Cost Me Was Everything. So that's a look at the charts for this week. Good music. Good stuff.
Good stuff. So I know we're going to talk about the Astros a little bit. Before we do that, I wanted to mention something really cool. One of our listeners reached out on Instagram this past week and told me about a show. And then I looked into a little bit of what she's doing. And she actually runs a nonprofit venue in Austin at her house. And it's called Peggy's Porch Party. And so I just wanted to tell all of you guys listening about this because I thought it was so cool. It's in her house. I believe she hosts the shows on the patio, and you get to sit in the backyard and hang out and watch, all kinds of different music. One of the shows that I saw coming up, I believe, is in 2 weeks on November 5th, if I'm not mistaken, but it's Ariel Hutchins is playing there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, she's a friend of the show. Obviously, we love her music. So if I was in Austin, I'd definitely go check that one out. But I don't know. It's just cool seeing all this, support going around. And I feel like I just want to, spread the love. And so if you guys are in that area and you want to go check out a cool, intimate show, go check out Peggy's Porch Party. I believe that's the website, peggysporchparty.com.
That is so in my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome.
I'm curious how she, got into that, or how because I lived in Austin for a while and I feel like it'd be real hard to pull it off, but it seems like they've got a real established thing going on. So I would love to talk to her and see kind of how that came about.
Probably, I bet. Okay. I'm just going to say, because maybe it's just like people like my peeps, and how we all get together. And there's so many musicians that are friends of mine that start pulling out the guitar, and we're having cold ones and wine or whatever. And then next thing you know, more people come, and then maybe she just had this pack. Maybe we'll have to interview her.
Yeah, maybe so.
Anyway, so, okay. I love that.
Yeah, very cool. All right. So how about them Astros?
Oh my gosh. I knew that the tables would have to turn, but I have to tell you, the first game when they came back and won after they had lost the first 2 in Boston, when they hit that 9th inning, literally, that was one game we didn't have anybody over to watch with us. Normally we have a group usually that's always watching the Astros playoffs.
You're talking about the nail biter, right? Where it was just 1-1 or whatever, 2-2.
Yeah. Well then, yeah. And then when we started, then when Castro came in and we started that rally, literally, I don't even know what was wrong with me. I was putting the blanket over my head, but yet I still could see through the blanket. You know what I'm saying? And I was like a stupid little kid. I'm like, okay, but for some reason it just made me feel comfortable and I could handle it.
Nice.
To put the blanket shaking over my head, and then they kept scoring.
Oh, yeah.
And it kind of reminded me of, did you see this story about the lady? She's so cute. They had her on the Houston News, and they were calling her like the Voodoo Lady. Did you see her story?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so she was at Minute Maid Park, and she's just adorable. And it was like kind of like one of those things that I did the other night, and then I just kept doing it because it was working. But they were, rallying and coming back, and they were winning. And anyway, It was one of those nail biter times. And so she took her rally towel, she put it on top of her head, and she just happened to be like making these little finger motions. Well, she got caught on camera. And so anyway, she kind of got famous after that. But the kicker to everything was, when I saw her on the interview, she was talking about how people are wanting to imitate it, but she had an orange scrunchie on her wrist. And she says, but if you're going to do it, you have to have the orange scrunchie, and then you have to put the towel on top of your head, and then you position your arms and do your fingers.
Oh, man.
I just love stuff like that.
How does such a simple game make us act so ridiculous? I do the same stuff. It's like, especially this time of year, like whenever baseball's coming to an end and the Stros, are 5 years deep in this thing. It's like I've noticed myself doing weird little superstitious stuff, like even not related to the baseball game.
Well, that's why I have the same shirts that I wear in October that I have had for the last 5 years. But I try to remind myself never to take it for granted, because, I grew up from the Astrodome days with the Astros, and, we just weren't as established. We just weren't, we're heavy hitters now. We're up there
it comes in waves.
But I think about how growing up, it was like, no matter win or lose, I didn't care if we were in last place, because I love baseball. I love my Astros. And we're just so blessed that we have such talent and such a good team. Yep. And I love Dusty Baker. He's another one. I like to watch what he does in the dugout. I love just. He's
a goofball.
Yeah, he is. And I remember he was badass. So when he was playing baseball, I used to watch him growing up. Man. He was killer. Oh my gosh. So it's awesome that he's our manager.
Yep. Yeah, we were sitting around a fire watching the game on Wednesday night. I guess, what was that, game 4? No, game 5. But we were sitting there watching, and one of our buddies showed up, and it was just like, all right, dude, if anything goes south in the next like 2 innings, you gotta go.
You're out.
You gotta go, dude. And he was sitting there just like, not even, he knows what's going on, but he wasn't invested as we were. And he's like, oh, that's good, right? All right, cool. I'm going to stay.
Yeah, that would be something that we would do here also. Yes.
Yeah. But good times for the Astros, good times for Texas country music. I don't think I have any shows this weekend for once. It's kind of weird, actually, now that I say that out loud.
Wow. I bet you run across something.
Maybe so. Yeah. We went to the fair last weekend, and it was awesome. I honestly don't know if I'd ever seen Krager live before, which is crazy to think. I probably have at fairs and stuff when I was younger and just don't remember it. But,
I'm sure you did. Growing up where you grew up, yes.
Oh man, and I felt at home. I hadn't been to the Austin County Fair since like before high school, I feel like. So it had to been maybe 2012. But like I grew up in that place. I know that property like the back of my hand. And
so do I.
Yeah, of course.
Austin County girl right here.
It was just so nice being there. I can't believe I've been missing out on all that over the last decade.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, I guess that wraps it up for this week, and good stuff coming up. We got a great guest coming up on Tuesday.
Want to tell them who it is?
Yeah, Kate Watson.
Yep. Kate Watson, she actually jumped on last minute. We had her booked earlier, or, further down the line. And as we mentioned, John Randall was supposed to be the guest for this upcoming week, and he had some things come up. So we've kind of flipped the schedule around, and Kate was more than happy to jump on and talk about her new single.
And she's just a ray of sunshine.
Yeah, she's got some energy.
Yes, red lipstick and a cowboy hat. We talked about that song last week here on Texas on Tap. So check that out Tuesday. So I guess that'll wrap it up for this week. Cheers, Kyle.
Go Stros.
Go Stros. Cheers to the Stros.
Cheers.
Dare to say, well, you can go to hell. Hell, I'll go to Texas. I've had my fill of every place but home. Well, take away these city lights. Put me on a one-way flight. I'm leaving out of here tonight. Just consider me